How's it going, guys? I thought today we would talk about how I find places to camp. But first, a little change of scenery is in order, I think. I'm at this little hiking trail here. It's not a long one, it's like 2 kilometers up, but I thought we'd just go for a little walk and talk about this. So, let's do that. See, like this trailhead here, I'd have no problem sleeping at it. This is actually a really nice spot. It's far enough out of town that I don't think anyone's gonna come out here and bother you, but also wouldn't want to probably park here all day and stay here all day. I don't know, probably no one would bother you, but yeah, it's not a bad spot. I do get it though, like finding these spots can be a little bit daunting, especially if you're in a new area. If you are someone and you're local to your area and you work in that area and everything like that, it's probably pretty easy to find a spot. Right now I'm just outside of Creston, BC. I got here last night and it wasn't super late. I actually ended up just staying where, well, yeah, the spot I stayed at, you're not supposed to camp there, but I did anyways. Also, another van pulled up beside me and parked there, so that can be another thing too, is if you are, I don't know why, but you just feel better about staying in a spot. I don't know if that's because you can just say, oh, well, that person was staying here, so I thought it was okay, if anyone asked, but in all reality, no one's going to come over there and tow your vehicle. They're probably just going to ask you to leave. So that's something to think about. But I'm going to go over with you guys what I use and how I find spots to stay for the night while traveling all around the Canadian Rockies and these little towns and everything. And a lot of times it's kind of hard to just find a solid spot. Not all spots are the same. Some are like you stay the night and you leave, and some are you can stay there for a while, but I'll go over that with you guys. So my first place I'm going to talk about, and I feel like this is a popular one for people, but side streets. Basically for me, anything residential, I just avoid. It's not really worth it. It's not really, it doesn't actually matter if you're in a car or a truck camper or a van, you're gonna get noticed. You park in front of someone's house and they look out their window and they see your vehicle sitting there. First thing they're gonna think is, why did this bozo park in front of my house? And while they don't own the streets and you're perfectly legal parking in front of their house, they're gonna look at you and start questioning you, and that's how it starts. Now, that being said, I have stayed at a residential area. Ooh, almost fell. I have stayed at residential areas before, but I can literally count on like one hand because I've only done it once. I was visiting a friend and she was staying at her brother's, and her brother said it was fine that I parked in front of their place. And in that case, it was fine. So if you're in that situation, then by all means. I don't think anyone's gonna bother you then, because you literally just got permission to park your vehicle there. So it's no different than you being just parked there and sleeping inside the house. As for things like apartment buildings, stuff like that, you're pretty okay. Actually kind of trees up here. I think I'm gonna turn around. It's very loud up here. I didn't realize they were gonna be doing that today. I don't know. I'm gonna head down and do another different walk here, just because I think they're doing some trail clearing up top, and I'm not sure if they're falling trees or not, but I probably shouldn't be in the area if they are. You'd think they would have this thing closed though. I don't know. It's loud. I don't want to be up here. It's loud. I'll come up another day. Now, residential areas are not your only place to park on side streets. There is stuff like industrial areas. Industrial areas, you're gonna get away with. They're pretty good. Unless there's like obvious signs saying don't park between these hours, then don't park between those hours. Most industrial areas are going to be, if they have street parking, no one's going to be there to really care if you're parking at night. In that case, you definitely would not want to have like a sketchy unmarked van. I don't know. You guys in your like stealth vans and stuff like that, if I had a van park in front of my house and it didn't look like a camper, I'd be a bit more worried than if it looked like a camper. Do you feel me? Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I'm just saying that. Anyways, it's not hard either way. You park there, you're probably not going to get harassed, and you probably will be fine. But I would also mention stuff like commercial areas. Areas where there's just like mom and pop stores and stuff. I think you might end up with more parking restrictions in there, but just follow the signs and I think you'll be okay. Also, with both of those areas, industrial, residential, and anything like commercial areas, you'll want to leave. You'll want to get there late and leave early before people are waking up and going to work. So you'll probably want to leave at like 6 a.m. at latest, and you probably won't want to arrive there until at least like 9 p.m. So that's something to think about. Any of those areas I don't have a lot of experience with. I have slept in an industrial area on a side street, but that's about it. Other than that, I much more prefer what I'm going to talk about next, and that's parking lots. So personally, I love parking lots. Reason being, I'm not going to get sideswiped in a parking lot, most likely. Other than kids going in there and trying to drift their cars, that's all you got to worry about. Usually parking lots, you can find a level spot, and if the business actually allows you to stay there, I'll usually throw a few blocks under the tires and actually level out the rig, just so I have like the best night's sleep possible. As for parking lots that you're not sure if you're allowed to stay in them, well, that's like the parking lot I was at last night. Actually, there was no overnight camping sign at the entrance. I just didn't see it, but I stayed there anyways, and I got away with it. Usually small towns and stuff, I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. They don't have security at these parking lots. The thing, if you show up late, leave early, no one's gonna notice, no one's going to care, no one's going to say anything. Ideally, try to avoid doing it, but if you're in a bind, then do it. Well, usually when I stay at a Walmart or something, I'll literally get there, park up. If it's a Walmart I'm allowed to stay at, I take my time leaving in the morning. I'm not gonna lie about that. I usually have a nice morning, enjoy the day and everything, and then get up and get going when I feel like it. But they have a big parking lot, and it all depends on whether or not there is a lot of people staying there. If there's a lot of people staying there, then yeah, it's probably gonna get shut down soon. List off a few. Squamish, that's a Walmart parking lot that I've heard that's just, they've been battling people staying there, but that's an extreme case. And I know there's more like that. And it sucks because the reason people stay there is because it's convenient and there's not really anywhere else to stay in the town. So my view on parking lots is if you're allowed to stay, don't take too advantage of it. Don't go plump your trailer there and like stay there for a year. Get up, leave during the day, come back at night, whatever. No one's going to mind. Don't be a burden on the business. Be respectful. Don't go to the bathroom outside. There's a Walmart there, go in there. Even in the middle of the night, don't do it. People don't like seeing yellow snow when they want to go pick up cornflakes for the kids. More on parking lots. Now you have your other stuff like rest areas, trailheads like I'm at right now. These are spots like, I don't know, if they're far enough out of town and there's no one coming here to kick you out, I don't know, I'll come stay here for a few hours during the day, maybe stay the whole night. Like, I don't know. If it's a really, really slow trailhead, I'll probably stay there for the day and maybe even the night. If it's a really busy trailhead, I might just come at night. That's it. And then leave in the morning, just because you don't really want to start getting noticed by the locals there. Even this one, it's been pretty busy today, so I probably won't stay here tonight. I might actually just go back to the spot I stayed at last night, but I left early enough that I don't think anyone noticed I stayed there. And it was so quiet and nice, I just liked it. It is gorgeous here. And then you have your places like rest areas. I don't know if I've actually ever stayed at a rest area. I've seen a lot of those spots before, and if they don't have any no overnight camping signs, I think it's fair game. Heck, if they do have overnight camping signs and I show up late enough, I think I'll just stay. I've done that with lots of parking lots, and it's worked out so far. I've only gotten a note once in the morning, but I stayed 2 days there and didn't move. That was in Cranbrook at the mall. Yeah, they do have security. But yeah, they just gave me a note, so whatever. If I'm not being a nuisance, the one time in Cranbrook that I was being a nuisance, that's staying there for 2 days. That wasn't a good idea. That was bad. I was just at a point where I was just editing and trying to get 2 videos done, and then I had my gym right there, so life was good. And I was just like, well, no one's come and said anything, so I just stayed. But yeah, don't do that. That's a bad idea. Do as I say, not as I do. But rest areas and stuff, if they don't have any no overnight camping signs, I think it's fair game for you to stay a night, whatever. Now you might be asking, Kevin, if I want to stay somewhere for like a week or something, where do I stay? And I'm going to let you know, because those are my favorite spots where I'm allowed. I can stay for just about as long as I want, because it's usually Crown land. So we'll go back to the truck camper and I'll let you know. Stay. So my favorite places to stay, absolutely, positively, are on Crown land, or what would you call it in the States? Public land, BLM land, stuff like that. It's basically land that no one really owns. It's owned by the government, I guess, and it's just, you're allowed 14 days on it. You're allowed to camp there, and it's probably some of the best spots you can find, and there's a lot of it here. I believe Canada is something like 80% of our land is Crown land. So you can find lots of land to camp on. Now, my biggest reason that I love these spots is you can go out there, you can spend 14 days out there. I can't. I will be out of water and everything and all of my heat and all that. But you can spend all that time out there and no one's going to bother you. You're allowed to be there. It's fine. Like, the best way to actually check if it is Crown land or if it isn't is download iHunter. There is a fee for it, but I think it's like it's really cheap for the area. I think it's like $1 for each area or something, and then you can turn on and see which ones are Crown land, which areas and stuff. It works really well actually, and I really like it. If I'm ever unsure about a spot and don't know if it's owned by someone or whatever, then I just check that. Another great way to find stuff too is going on Google Maps, and you can actually, like, if you're in British Columbia, you can actually find like rec sites, and these rec sites, a lot of them are free. Some are like $15, but a lot of them are free, and you can get in there, stay for 14 days completely free, and like, it's really cool because it's like an actual campground, but it's free. And yeah, I love it so much. That's probably one of my most favorite ones. And the fact that the 90% of them, well, actually, I think almost all of them are marked on Google Maps. So yeah, and there is a lot in BC. There's like over 200. There's a lot. And it's almost like a fun puzzle finding them, because you never know what you're going to get when you find them. So when you do and you're like, oh, there's a BC rec site here, and you drive on in. I will say sometimes the roads in aren't nice. A lot of times they're impassable. I think I've been to a few where it's like I'll never be able to get there. It's impassable now. I mean, unless you have like a really souped up 4x4 rig or a quad or something, or you're just gonna hike in, then by all means you'll get there. But yeah. The negatives to these areas, so Crown land and stuff like that, a lot of times, unless you really luck out, there is no service. So cell service or anything. So if you are someone that wants to spend oodles amount of times on Crown land and you need cell service, I recommend you get Starlink, because you'll get some good use out of it. During the winter, I almost feel like I should just not have Starlink, because I can't really get to these spots right now. They're all kind of snowed in a bit. If I can get to them, I'll head down the road and see, but I also don't like going down these forestry roads, and then you start getting up it, and you start going, and you go a little bit too far, and then you're trying to find a place to turn around, and you keep going, and the road just keeps getting sketchier. That happened just outside Revelstoke, out by Shelter Bay. I was trying to get to one of those rec sites, and yeah, the road, it was starting to get to the point where I was like, I can make it down this, but your gut feeling starts telling you it's not smart. So in that case, I ended up, as soon as I could turn around, I found like one spot there where I was finally able to turn around. I thought this thing was supposed to be along the water, so I imagined the whole thing went really high up and then dropped right down after. So it being winter, you could end up with a snowstorm and then trapping you back out there. You have to realize that some of these places, like getting to them, especially in BC, they have like 20% grades, which is like this going uphill, and it's steep. It's really steep. And usually if you're going uphill, you're going to have to go back down that. And whether or not you're actually in control going down it, you're going down it. There's also the other fact too, is landslides. You could spend a week out there and then all of a sudden it starts raining and it doesn't stop, and a landslide locks you in there. Now what are you doing? You're stuck. That's probably one of the negatives with these spots. But you don't have to go super far out to get to these spots all the time. Sometimes literally it's just off the road and there is a spot there and you're good to go. I find those all the time. Just outside of Revelstoke going north, there's so many up there. For how many kilometers is that? I think it's about 150 kilometers. I drove all the way up to Mica Dam, and literally endless amounts of like just camping spots that you just pull off the road, drive down a little tiny trail, and then all of a sudden you have like a beautiful camping spot. There's also about 4 rec sites along that way, but they all cost money, but they're nice rec sites, like really nice. This last thing I want to talk about is the camping apps. The ones that show you spots to camp and everything like that. I'll name that off because I do use it. If I am in a bind and I can't find anywhere to camp, or it's a new area and I have no idea where to go, I'm going to be heading to the States soon, and I'll probably use this a lot because I have no idea about the area. BC's okay with me. Alberta's good with me because like I go to an area and I kind of just know what to look for. The United States, I have no idea, no clue. So the app I'm talking about is iOverlander, and I will say I've never added to it, and there's good reason to that because there's a lot of spots on there that get discovered and then all of a sudden there's 30 campers there, and the spot's kind of, if you go there and it's like, yeah, this is gonna get shut down pretty quick. If it's to figure out if a Walmart allows you to stay the night there, then yeah, I'll use it. Just stuff like that. And then you go into me talking about spots on like Crown land or public land again. Well, depends on the area, but some will get really busy. Like if you're around Revelstoke, those areas, like you'll find those spots on those apps, and usually they're full all the time because everyone knows about it. A lot of people know about the iOverlander app. A lot of people use it. The cool thing about it though is if you go to those Crown land spots and you like see a spot, oh, just off this road here, there's usually about 300 other spots off that road that may not be as nice as that one, but they will work. And or they might be nicer, like if you just went to like 100 meters farther and there's a better spot, but the app just never caught that because everyone's stopping at that spot. Like just things like that. Sometimes you can luck out with that. Other than that, it's really hard for me to talk bad about it, but I also see what's wrong with that app. I'm just gonna say, if you want to use the apps like iOverlander, go right ahead. It's a wonderful app. It works great, but there is enough camping spots on it. You don't need to add anymore. It'll be okay. If all of a sudden, like, I don't think it should die off completely, but definitely it doesn't need any more added. There's plenty of spots for everyone to stay on there now, so that's always nice. I've had such good experiences with it. I can't hate on it that much, but yeah. The other side to that app too, it's a powerful app because it's basically for like the last 5 years people have been adding like, oh, you can go here and do laundry. Oh, you can go here and find a car wash. Oh, you can go fill up your water here. Oh, you can go and find a dump station here. Like, there's so many like good things about it that I can't say that it should be like completely destroyed. It's such a helpful tool. It's like Google, but it's more centralized to just like nomads. Now, I guess some last things to talk about here. A lot of people say to me, oh, most Walmarts don't allow you to camp at them anymore. Maybe most. Okay, that makes sense. I will say though, in Canada and stuff, I haven't had that many issues finding Walmarts to stay at. I've actually found quite a few. So it's worth it to go inside, ask, and see if they'll let you stay. Obviously, if there's signs up everywhere saying no overnight camping, then it's probably a good solid no. There's a lot of other businesses like Walmart that will let you stay in their parking lot, but usually they want you just for one night and gone. So remind yourself just to leave during the day. Go find somewhere to hang out during the day, like a trailhead, as I am, or a park, just like anywhere. Like I've even went to something like a rec center or something and just parked in their parking lot and just stayed there all day. I used the shower once. It's just nice to be able to park there and stay there for the day. And you just won't get bothered. Also, last thing I want to talk about is stealth. Obviously, I own a truck camper. I really don't think anyone cares if I'm living in it or not. Everyone's got their own business and like stuff that they're worried about. So I think me staying in my truck camper and parking on like a industrial area street, yeah, someone might drive by and say, huh, that guy's just staying the night there. I wonder if he's just passing through camping or what. Like, no one's like thinking like, oh, he's staying in his camper, he must be up to no good. Like, no. I don't know. I really don't worry too much about stealth. And literally the worst thing that's going to happen is maybe a cop knocks on your door and tells you to move. That's another thing too, is if you're in a Walmart parking lot or any parking lot by that chance, don't go outside, bring the baby stroller, throw the carts out, throw the awning up and like set up camp inside the parking lot. You are asking for problems. As someone that lives in his truck camper and works on it in parking lots and stuff, I know where I belong when I'm working on something I'm going to be making a mess. You go to that Home Depot and you park there and you make that mess and then clean up after. Because that's what Home Depot's for. Home renovations. Seriously, don't make a big mess. Just try to keep things clean and not so obvious. But yeah, it's fun doing projects in Home Depot parking lots. But okay guys, it's been fun. That's an interesting video. I am literally filming this today and it's going up tomorrow. I tried to make a midweek video twice already, and the first one I just didn't like, and now I decided just to do this topic instead. So, really good talking with you guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. And I really can't wait to take you guys with me on the next one. All right, guys, later.